Hello and welcome to Trojans Live. Let's get it started with the head ball coach, Clay Helton, going into a 7-game season. I think, Coach, the last time we talked to you, you were just about to start fall camp. So how was it? Did you end up getting used to all the changes and the protocols? And nothing's been normal in 2020.
Well, I tell you what, one, we're grateful and we're very thankful to have the opportunity to play the game we love. And, the protocols come with this, and there's a sacrifice that has to be made to do something that you love. And I'm really proud of our kids. I mean, since March 15th, their discipline, their toughness, their unitedness together, their unity together has been amazing to me. And now we get to celebrate. I'm so happy for our coaches, our staff, our players, because it's game week, like you said. I mean, this Saturday is in a long time in the making. And we've had a blast over the last 5 weeks with camp, but we're ready to go play somebody. So we're excited for this Saturday.
Coach, it's been a hell of a ride. I know you and the team have been through a lot this year. What was camp like this year? How did you judge it from your perspective as a coach, and how did you guys go through it?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I love the format the DNCAA was allowed us to have, which we had 2 weeks of OTAs, basically, where we were able to install 2 new systems, with a new defensive coordinator, a new special teams coordinator. To be able to install 2 new systems over those 2 weeks were very important. And now 4 weeks of true camp leading up to Arizona State. So it's been a physical camp. We went into this camp saying, okay, we have not played the game of football in 6 months. We need to make it physical. We watched the games previous to us playing in September and October and saw, from missed tackles to those turnovers, penalties. So we felt like we needed to play the game and put the ball down and play a bunch. And that's what we did. And the kids, I thought, thrived in it. I thought we improved over 5 weeks. It was a really physical camp, and now it's time to go see where we're at. I love what T.O. has done defensively, putting in systems that are simple for our defense but aggressive. I love the offense going from year 1 to 2 and the chemistry right now that's going on with Keaton and the skill players. And I like the look of our offensive line. To be honest with you, a veteran group that has a really deep tailback position right now, older kids that are vets that are running the ball well. So we're in a good position, and now looking forward to the reality of being able to put the ball down and see where we are.
Yeah, let's get into some of the facets of your team. Give fans a little bit of a preview since so few have been able to see anything, and just trying to read any information they can find. It is year 2 in the Graham Harrell offense. It certainly was explosive in year 1, despite some issues at the quarterback position with guys coming in and out. What do you expect from year 2? Coach Harrell, we had him on a couple weeks ago, said there's no 2.0 to this offense. With that said, you have continuity at quarterback now. You have a lot of talented people. Is it just the comfort you expect for this offense to continue to improve?
Yeah, what you see, Jordan, is the chemistry. And that's what Graham told me. He said, Coach, wait till you see year 2, the difference between year 1 and year 2. And you're looking at year 1 being the 6th best pass offense in the country. But now you see that chemistry. You even see Keenan's confidence in the guys around him. And now having a year under his belt to be able to throw to Amon-Ra and Drake and TV and to be able to really grow as a quarterback. I thought as he grew last year, our team grew. We played our best ball in the second half of the season. And as he improved, we improved. Now you look at him, he was a young man last year, pushed into the bright lights. Now you look at him even physically, what he's done in strength and conditioning, what Graham's done with his core work, pre-practice, post-practice. Now you're looking at a 215-pound grown man, a lot stronger man that's making all the throws across the field and being able to really develop a really nice chemistry with those around him.
That's all well and nice, Coach, but let's talk some defense. I want to talk about your man, Todd Orlando.
Yeah.
You bring Coach in, you put some pieces around him, Dante Williams, a Craig Naivar, a Vic So'oto. How has that worked out defensively? Have they meshed together, and what have you seen from them in camp that get you excited about some defensive ball?
Yeah, really behind the eight ball for T.O. You finally get cut loose on October 9th and say, okay, go install a system.
Yeah.
And so we had been meeting on it all spring, all summer. But you know how it is, Sean. Until you physically get the reps, that's when it really takes shape and
Yeah.
takes hold.
A lot of
What's
T-shirt. It
neat,
could be a lot of T-shirt All-American sometimes, right, Coach?
yeah, no question. But when you put the pads on and you see what first stood out to me is how well our personnel fit the system. And that's what I was hoping for. When Tio had showed it to me and we went through it, I was like, wow, this is something I think really fits our kids. And then secondly, you see how aggressive it is. I mean, pressures come from everywhere. I'm talking about if 4-man rush, 5-man rush, 6-man rush, it could be backers, it could be safeties, it could be corner, it could be it from anywhere that it's coming. It's ultra aggressive, which fits our personality. And the kids have really picked it up very, very well over the last 5 weeks. So I'm looking forward to, and have really done a nice job against our offense going into year 2. So I'm looking forward to see it against Arizona State. I think as a coaching staff, they've done a wonderful job with the improvement of our kids fundamentally and technique-wise, but also in putting in a system in 5 weeks. I've been thoroughly impressed.
How healthy are you, Coach? You've been through a month
Mm-hmm.
camp now.
Yeah.
What's the latest in terms of some guy's status?
Yeah, we actually have gotten some kids back this week, and which is great. We got Drake Jackson back, Kanai Moaga back defensively. Brandon Peely is in really good shape right now compared to when he first came back with us. Offensively, Marquise Stepp, I thought had his best day of practice today. Vavai Malapai really had a great day of practice, and so we're getting some guys back. Knock on wood, we've been really healthy through this camp, and good Lord's been watching after us. But we're entering this first ball game in a real good place.
Coach, last year an 8-5 record. You take a tough L in the bowl game against Iowa at the end. What did you learn from that experience last year that you can progress as a coach and you can get better as a coach?
Yeah, I thought, again, Sean, we played our best ball in the second half of the season, played a good Iowa team in the bowl game. And it's always hard when you lose your quarterback at some point in time in the game. And was in a fist fight with Iowa and came up short with it and kind of faded down the stretch. But the one thing that I like about our football team is you took a lot of younger kids. You thrust them into the spotlight, a Keaton, an Elijah Griffin, a Chris Steele, those type of young players. And then now they've got that year of experience, and now they're ready, to have that veteran leadership and to have that year under their belt. And you see the growth of these guys just as players. And so, we had some growing pains with some youth. But now you look across the board, you look at a veteran offensive line, vets in the skill positions, defensively, a veteran defensive front, even a Drake Jackson going into year 2 looks phenomenal.
Looks
And
leaned out.
Oh my goodness. EA looks the best I've ever seen him look. I mean, T.O. has been extremely tough on him, and probably he's grown the most from the hard coaching that T.O. has given him. So, you're talking about a bunch of young kids that now are grown up and got that experience under their belt, and we're in a lot better place because of it. We had some growing pains because of it, but I think we're in a lot better place now going through it.
Yeah, it is an older team. One young guy that we're really looking forward to seeing, though, is Brew McCoy. We talked with him last week. He was very impressive, coach. And you lose Michael Pittman Jr., but we were making this comparison, not so much to compare them directly, but it's interesting that you found some receivers in recent years, Michael Pittman Jr., Juju Smith-Schuster, Brew McCoy, even all the way going back to Marquise Lee, who my partner, our old partner, John Jackson, all those guys I just listed, he said, they should have played defense in college. Because JJ saw them all in high school, and he said, no, they would have been even better with defense. Well, those guys are all making a lot of money playing receivers, so I think they probably made a good decision. But it's interesting to me, Coach, that Brew sort of falls in that same line. People loved him as an outside linebacker. What is it about him that you're looking forward to, and can he be that kind of player?
Yeah, Jordan, you hit the nail on the head. We've done a really good job around here in our evaluation of guys that are both way players, and have had a lot of fortune. And you're right. I thought Marquise Lee was going to be a first round draft pick quarter, and
He might have
he said.
been.
And he said, Coach, can I play wide out? And I said, yeah, let's go do it. He goes, just give me 4 days. And it wasn't 4 days; it was 4 plays.
Yeah.
We knew. But all of those kids, when Juju, Mike, Marquise, they played defense and they played the game offensively with a defensive mentality. And Brew may be the most fierce of all of them, to be honest with you. He plays the game like a defensive player, he was a great outside linebacker, edge rusher at modern day. So he brings that defensive mentality to the game.
I'm just curious what the schedule is. What is your team schedule? I'm sure you have planned it out. And how did you get the team prepared for the early wake up call?
Yeah, definitely, Jordan. We've kind of been going through it daily through camp, to be honest with you. With daily testing that goes on right now, we're all up at 6 a.m. Basically doing the daily test and strength and conditioning. We actually went through a mock game week last week. We actually went to the Coliseum at daybreak, which the Coliseum, if you've ever been there at sunrise, it's about as pretty as it gets. But we took our kids exactly through the format that they would go through in this game. And I thought they handled it really well. The last 2 scrimmages prior to last Saturday were all morning scrimmages. We wanted them to get them acclimated. We've been an afternoon practice team here, but to be able to get them some experience with that morning, we basically took 3 opportunities each Saturday in the Coliseum at game time to be able to prepare them. So it was good. And this past one was a true about half of football that featured everything from warm-ups to coaches in the box to headsets to all the communications and substitutions, all the little things that turn up in a game that you go, okay, yep, we got to go get that one fixed. But I think our kids did a wonderful job with it. It was a good experience for us this past Saturday.
What time is pregame meal? That's what Sean wants to know.
Well, I tell you what, it's different now, Jordan and Sean. I'll be honest with you. We don't eat together, so your typical pregame meal is
Right.
not where it's at. So that's one of the leading causes of spreading this virus is people that eat in groups. So we actually dinner and breakfast and that pregame meal is actually served to your door at your in your hotel room. So the typical pregame meal is not there. They do wake up. We wake them up at 5:45 with breakfast in hand, and then we hit the ground running at 6:30. Do a little clap session, get on the bus, and we're at the stadium by 7 a.m.
Coach, if you need a breakfast burrito, I'll be making them about 4 a.m. So maybe I'll pack you one there for you, Coach.
I like it. Make one for me, Sean.
But
I think
Coach,
Sean, you could live with that room service life. I mean,
Oh.
really, what Coach just described there was room service, and I think
that sound like-
NFL Sean has no
that
problem.
was best.
With
that was my
situation.
NFL. That was actually my NFL ritual. Was just waiting for room
That's right.
service. No, Coach. Let's talk a little bit about the game and about going to get Coach Herm Edwards. You guys have gone to battle a couple times now, and obviously, Coach Edwards has brought on some new coordinators. You got two new coordinators, offensively, defensively. How do you prepare for new coordinators when you haven't really got any film with the guys they're going to use?
Yeah, it's tough. We talked about this as a staff, and it's really about our execution because, we've got a lot of respect for Coach Edwards and the guys that he's brought in. But, you look at Coach Lewis and Coach Antonio Pierce as co-coordinators defensively, and you know that there's going to be some changes. The tape you saw last year is probably not what you're going to see this year. And then, bringing in a new offensive coordinator who's done a great job at Boise State over the past couple of years. You have to look kind of 2 ways. One, what he believes in and what he did at Boise, but also what Jaden Daniels did very successfully last year at quarterback. What were some of those things that they believe in with him? So you got to be twofold kind of there offensively. So it is a harder situation going into a first ball game with 2 new coordinators on both ends. And I think that's why it's so important that we've preached to our kids and our staff of, it's not about the other team. It's about us. It's about us executing our systems at a high level, playing with a relentless effort. And as we've seen in these early ball games, just don't have the errors. Don't have the penalties, don't have the unforced errors with turnovers. Don't beat yourself. And so that's been the preaching point all through camp, and the kids have done a nice job with it. So I look forward to seeing it on Saturday.
You mentioned Jaden Daniels, obviously a highly touted sophomore quarterback, much like your own. We didn't get to see him last year, though. He was out for the game in Tempe. It was a close enough game as is. How do you deal with Jaden Daniels? What have you seen from him on film?
Yeah, well, one, he's a playmaker. He can hurt you with his arm, and he can hurt you with his feet. I think he has tremendous deep ball accuracy. That's one of the things that we're working on. Is I think the kid, when you go back and watch the Oregon game, where they're one of the few teams that beat Oregon last year on their run to the championship. Jaden goes in there and completes 3 of the nicest deep balls you'll ever see in that game that make the difference. But then you look at him as a runner too, and if you let him escape the pocket, he can hurt you, and he can hurt you for explosive plays with his legs. So he's one of those athletic quarterbacks that have a gifted arm, can make every throw on the field. We know him; he's a Southern California kid. We recruited him. He is a wonderful talent, and what a great game, for college football fans. You're talking about two of not only the best on the West Coast, but the best in the nation. When you talk about Kedon Slovis and Jaden Daniels going head to head in game 1 in both of their sophomore campaigns.
Coach, you got anything special lined up to get these guys fired up? I'm going to be up there on the concourse. If you need me to run around, start the wave by myself, I'm into it. But is there anything special that you can get the guys, any way to get the guys going you thought of so far that might crank some energy?
I tell you what, Sean, they have done such a great job. I'm actually worried about the other scenario, to be honest with you. We were in the mock game and they're going nuts. So the energy and the juice is going to be there. Now, it is different. I'll be honest, and I'm so thankful we walked into that Coliseum 3 times and had marketing there and had the ambient crowd noise and the music, and because it is a different feel. And you've got to bring your own juice and your own energy as a team, and you have to celebrate with your teammates. And we've talked about, hey, you know what, those 2s and 3s, maybe those injured guys, you got a great opportunity to bring great energy for your teammates on that sideline, and then celebrate with each other. I mean, we get 7 opportunities at this to go try to win a conference championship. We're thankful to be here. Let's just play it for the love of the game. We worked so hard to get here, and so thankful for it, man. Go out and have fun. We're doing like you did, Sean, as a player. I mean, we are just grinding through the week so we could just cut it loose on Saturday.
You mentioned what the atmosphere is going to be like. You think there's any home field advantage this year, Coach? I mean, what would it be? Just general comfort in the surroundings?
I'm going to tell you this. I've always thought this. When you walk down that tunnel of the Coliseum and you feel those ghosts in that place of honor, it is the 12th man. I don't care if it's got 1 fan, no fans, or 90,000 fans. When you walk in there and you look up and you see that torch and you see that stadium and all that has been accomplished in that stadium, as a home team, it gives you goosebumps. But as a visiting team, it can put you in awe.
Coach, I'm looking for the trifecta here. I got my Lakers and my Dodgers going. All I need is my Trojans rolling now, Coach. So I'm hoping for that trifecta. No pressure on you or nothing, but let's get that trifecta rolling.
I tell you what, let's go quadruple. Let's go. The Rams or the Chargers too. Come on, City of Champions. Let's get it. Let's get them all going.
Well, long last, Coach, you get your campaign started on Saturday. I know you are excited about it. We are as well. So is the Trojan family, even though they cannot be there. They'll be yelling at you from their couches and yelling at the referees and excited wherever they are, hopefully being safe and enjoying Trojan football. Thank you, Coach.